Hi, these comments are for KE, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-Step System to Pass a TOEFL IBT, your online TOEFL course. And you just sent me a question by email, and I want to wish a congratulations to your wife who just joined my course. It says, my wife was thinking to take the 60-day training plan since she'd been reading it for 2 to 3 months from TOEFL books. It says, so you notice something that I said on my 60-day TOEFL study guide. Says, work hard to increase your reading speed from 100 to 350 words per minute. These reading practice tests are not TOEFL IBT reading practice tests, thus they do not include all the IBT reading question types you will see in the actual exam. They are designed to help you increase your basic comprehension of academic reading passages. So you say, basically states that the tests are not TOEFL IBT practice, and the 90-day, does it say the same thing as well? It does, yes. You say, however, she wants to read and practice tests that are close to the real test. She wants to practice TOEFL IBT reading practice. Does this require her taking the 90-day course plan? It does not, KE, no. You see, I'm assuming she should have access to all materials. You are right. Actually, you have complete access to over 700 lessons to help your wife improve her vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, reading, listening, writing, and speaking proficiencies. So to really understand kind of where I'm coming from, the purpose of my course, believe it or not, it's not just to get a high TOEFL score, but the purpose of my course is to help your wife build her academic English language proficiency skills. So here's what your wife needs to do if she wants to improve her reading, and I will say these things during the reading part of my course as she goes through the videos. So she needs to read every day for about 45 minutes, and this reading material should not come from my online TOEFL course. This reading material needs to come from things that your wife has a genuine interest in reading. Because if she's interested in reading it, she'll read more, and by reading more, she'll improve her concentration and comprehension of reading generally, and ultimately her TOEFL. Okay, so she needs to do that first. Secondly, she needs to improve her vocabulary. Third, she should increase her reading speed to at least, my suggestion is 300 words plus. And then she should become familiar with the TOEFL IBT reading question types and the strategies for answering them, and then she should complete TOEFL level reading practice test. If your wife can do these 5 things consistently over several months, she will improve her reading comprehension, and ultimately she will improve her TOEFL score. Now, if your wife only focuses on this, she will not get the results that she's looking for. Right? So you have to do all 5 of these things, right? So again, for reading for the 45 minutes every day, your wife can pick magazines and newspapers and books. She can do that. Now, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go to my online TOEFL course. So I'm going to show you how my course will help in these areas. So vocabulary. Okay, right now, KE, I'm going to go to the vocabulary section of my course. This is really, your wife should start working on this right away. So in the first section of my course, you have a lot of good lessons here. These are all great lessons to help her improve her reading proficiency, and especially lesson number 3, 4, 5, and 6. By learning the words in these particular lessons, your wife will acquire over 1,700 college level words. That's going to have a much better impact, I think, on her reading proficiency than just taking TOEFL level reading practice test. The next thing your wife needs to do is to improve her reading speed. So let's go to the reading part of my course for a second. So I go to step number 5, reading. This is very, very important. The speed reading tests, believe it or not, are more important than taking TOEFL level reading practice tests, because if she takes the practice test but her reading speed is only 80 or 90 words a minute or 100 words a minute, it doesn't matter how many practice tests she takes, she's never going to have enough time to finish the TOEFL exam, and she'll always have difficulty concentrating and comprehending what she reads. Why? Because slower readers have poorer comprehension than faster readers. So your wife really needs to concentrate in this area here. So she wants to go from 100 words a minute all the way to at least 300 words per minute with about 60 to 80% comprehension. And then, number 4, your wife needs to become familiar with the IBT reading questions and the strategies for answering them. So again, going back to my website, here's what your wife wants to do. Your wife needs to go to, here are the different questions. So lesson number 1, reading, will give her general strategies for reading in general. Then you have lesson number 2, vocabulary, pronoun, referent, and paraphrase question types. These are IBT reading question types. Lesson 3 is insert sentence, detail, negative detail, and implied detail question types. Your wife needs to go through those videos and learn what those question types are and how to apply the strategies on the actual TOEFL reading section. Lesson number 4, infer rhetorical purpose, summary chart, and schematic table question types. So by going through lessons 2, 3, and 4, your wife will accomplish, I think, understanding this 4th idea. And then the last thing your wife wants to do is to complete TOEFL level reading practice test. Now here's my opinion. So I'm going to say that all the time that your wife spends on her improving her reading, 80% of her time should be spent in points number 1, 2, and 3. I hope this helps you understand how she can balance her time here. And then 20% of her time should be spent with points number 4 and 5. Now, once your wife has spent time, I recommend probably 6 to 8 weeks of going through 1, 2, and 3. Once she's done that, then she can look at the reading question types and the strategies for answering them, and then of course she can complete TOEFL level reading practice test. Now, like I said, my website does not have TOEFL level reading practice test. So when the time is right and you're ready to take a reading practice test, you can go down to section 8 of my course. It says full-length IBT and section-specific tests here. And what you can do here is you can learn about, I do have an additional service. It will take her to a website. The website's a very reliable website, and their tests are very, very close to the actual IBT exam. So your wife clicks on scorenexus.com and she can use this discount code to get a discount on the practice test. Your wife has 2 choices at this point. She can take a full-length IBT practice test by going to ScoreNexus, so she can see how much she's learned at my course and then how that's helping her with her TOEFL score. Now, she can also take a section-specific test, for example, only a reading practice test if she wants. So if your wife doesn't want to use her TOEFL books, she can go to scorenexus.com and certainly take a reading practice test from this particular website. It does cost an additional cost. I think it's around maybe $15 to $18, something around those lines, to take a specific test. So those are my recommendations for your wife. So let's see if we can get this straight. So my suggestions are that in order for your wife to improve her reading significantly, she should spend time reading every day. She should improve her vocabulary, and she needs to increase her reading speed to about 300 words a minute or more. This is 80% of her time is focused in these 3 areas when she's doing her reading practice. And then 20% of her time usually after she's mastered the vocabulary and she has increased her reading speed, then she can work on points number 4 and 5. And with 5, the TOEFL level reading practice test, you can find out about these by going to the 8th section of my course. And that's it.